Hey everyone, Miacidae here. Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. So today the plan is to go into the Weald, where we might find the Dwemer Lake, but also some other stuff, one of which is a recent ad, and I'll put that up in just a moment. Mainly because the game's acting a little weird and I just want to get this resolved, pun intended. So we're going to be getting the Ancestor's Portrait. Now, I don't think I should be getting the Ancestor's Portrait from a apprentice or a veteran, let alone a short dungeon, but that's what it's been appearing on a lot as. In some of my testing files, if I left this alone long enough, it would literally, this and a few other trinkets would be literally the only reward that would pop up in anything that was not a boss fight. So the sooner I just get this, even though I probably should not be getting this from a short once again. So the sooner I get this out, the sooner I can get back to some of the rewards for, like, say, getting the Trapper or the Estranged or someone else I don't really have many trinkets for. So that's why we're going to be going here, just doing the short. Now, the group is actually going to be a bleeding group. I think most of you know how I use Simon the Forlorn by now, but he's going to have Whiplash, Hunter Strike, Bloodied Cross, and Private Rations. However, I did change his stuff up a little bit. So we have the Sanguinous Bestiary, so he has plus accuracy and plus crit. Or Hunter Strike will now get plus 35% damage versus bleeding, which already has armor, piercing versus bleeding, and on attack, bleeding gives him 20% extra damage. So getting that even stronger is kind of scary, but you know, we'll see what happens here. Especially because considering some of this stuff here has armor, and he'll just be bypassing that if it's bleeding and then doing extra damage. I think it's going to add up fairly quickly. Then I did throw a request for aid on him just so he gets more speed. And then on crit, he'll buff the entire party to do plus 20% damage versus bleeding. In addition to like the debuff chance, which I don't really use on him very often, but it is a thing. We're then going to be using Lotus, the Sisters, mainly using Crimson Dancing with Simon once we get everything set up. Because 1, it does bleeding to 2 targets, 3 for 4 rounds, and will shuffle them. Has armor piercing once again, like I mentioned on Simon, but then it does plus damage versus blighted. And then we're going to have the Death Dancer scroll on her, which 1 plus accuracy while blighted. Or on friendly skill, so when she transforms, she's going to blight herself, and then once she attacks, she's going to cure that blight. Then she's going to do plus blight amount versus blighted, so this will do even more in just a bit. And then on attack hit, she's going to blight 1 for 3 rounds, and that goes to 2 for 3 rounds once I use this, which also gets plus damage versus blighted, so kind of compounding everything. Then we're going to have the Bloodblade Crescent on her, so that she gets plus bleed chance versus blighted, which this is a bleeding move, so it's going to have a higher chance once the Death Dancer scroll goes off. And plus blight chance versus bleeding, which I believe should affect the Death Dancer scroll once again, because everything here will be bleeding. We're then going to have Carmine the Duchess with Noble Obligation, Castigate, Thirst for Power, and Crimson Downpour. Crimson Downpour just upping the amount of damage everything takes while bleeding and bleeding them, and then everything just kind of snowballs from there with the other 2. The little change I did do here is I put the Bulbous Tongue on her from the Mimic Trinket, so she gets plus crit. She has a chance to mark, which has a little bit of synergy here if I wanted to use Trespass. And then on attack hit, it will blight 1 for 3 rounds, just making the Sisters snowball all the more because of accuracy, or the plus blight amount versus blighted, and the plus damage versus blighted. Then, because we're going to be using her in beast form, we're bringing Nobusuma's Glare, so plus accuracy, plus crit in spades, but a lot of minus HP. And then we're going to be bringing Zoe the Librarian as our healer. The big things here are she can give us accuracy and protection if torch above, or crit and dodge if torch below, which we will be doing because of a specific boss I recently added. Then her main heal cures bleed and blight and puts on a restoration, so hopefully I don't have to rely on this too much. I can also use Blossom as a heal if I need to, so we have 2 healers. She's going to have Amethyst's Head, so she does plus restoration amount applied, and the Overture Box, so she has more dodge. Now, a few mod things I would like to cover really quick that affect this file. One of which is, for those of you who saw the episode with, say, the Phantasma the other day, where it crashed upon using Full Moon Slash to kill an enemy, that actually was what was crashing it. I did help trouble test this with the one of the mod makers, or one of the people working on, I should say, and we found out that every time Full Moon Slash would give me a trinket from using the worn letter paper, it would cause a crash because this has a 7% chance to give you a Phantasma trinket on monster kill. So when that was giving us the trinket for Say via Full Moon Slash on the first turn, it was crashing the game. That has since been fixed. I've tested it time and time again. It should be pushed out soon, if not like already. Let me double check this actually. As of me recording this video, there was a update to her today, and I'm assuming that's part of what, if not the update, was about. So the Phantasma's crashing bug there that you saw the other episode is fixed. Then I did add another boss. I'm going to put the workshop thing right up here. So it adds a boss strictly to the Weald, which I already have problems with. I don't know why I'm adding more bosses to the Weald. It is a boss that only appears under 50% torchlight or lower. So I wanted to do it. So I just went ahead and added it to the estate. For those of you who are wondering where to place it, I just placed it with the rest of the bosses. So he may appear. And in fact, I'm hoping on it because that's kind of the torchlight we're going to be going in on. So that being said, we're just going to bring some basic supplies. I am going to bring holy waters just because I do expect to run into him. I am going to bring torches just on the fact of I might be running into some of those bog walls. So that's what's going to get me through that. I am going to bring Kraken ribbons to level everyone up. And then he is supposedly a boss that can stun and a few other things. I don't want to up my stun resistance just to show how good or bad he might be. So that's really the only ribbons we're going to be bringing. But I could bring ones for plus accuracy in the future if I had problems with him, or healing received and plus stun resistance. But we'll just see how he is as a base, if he even appears.
I knew all these paths once.
So right away, popping all the Kraken ribbons, plus 25% resolve experience after the quest is done. With the Librarian's area guide, that amounts to 125% resolve experience from this quest. Everyone here might hit level 5, that is level 4, and then Zoe's probably going to hit level 4 from this. Just because the boss only appears in 50% or lower, I'm just going to snuff the torches.
A glint of gold.
And here he is. I actually was expecting this to take a bit. Oh man, he looks cool. I didn't realize his tail was that long. I was really hoping for her to go first, but now she's stunned, so that's not even going to be a thing. I can't use Whiplash in this spot either. So yeah, we're just going to Hunter Strike for now. He's got 80 health. So far he's stunned us and marked us in the same move, and -1 speed for the entire battle, which can add up. So we're going to use Improvised Tactics plus Crit plus Dodge. That should help a lot of the people here. Okay, 4 for 1 round, not bad.
The boldest gaze.
Transforming Carmine. And then we're going to use Crimson Downpour to bleed him and put the bleeding debuff.
The will to fight.
He has some great resistances, I didn't realize that. Oh, he gives himself some nice buffs there. Plus speed, plus damage versus bleeding, plus crit versus bleeding. Whoever did the modeling for this is... props to you, this is really cool. But let's Thirst for Power, try to get him bleeding.
Powerful blow.
Resisted both that and the Blight, youch. Okay, Possession. And then we're gonna Crimson Dance. So this has a 130% chance to bleed, so technically right now, because I don't have anything else going for me, this only has a 20% chance to bleed, and I don't have my plus damage versus Blighted. And the Death Dancer scroll is even lower on that list. We're gonna heal Lotus. So everyone is getting marked from this, by the way. I'm guessing that was some kind of an acid spit. Yeah, Vile Hunger does blight. He can do bleeding attacks while buffing himself or debuffing the enemy party. Wow. Let's do Shroud, getting her the plus speed for now.
The blood quickens.
And everyone's good, so I'm going to do Know Thy Enemy. That way he's marked and I'll at least crit him with Lotus. Man, the fact that that stuns and marks is something. I was originally going to do Trespass here because that's 8 to 16 damage and will crit because he is marked, but we could Crimson Dance to try to get the bleed on him and the blight. That's actually not a very good chance, so let's just... And then we can do Crimson Downpour afterward. Yeah, so let's do Trespass. Oof.
Inspiration and improvement.
Crimson Downpour, I'm just going to try to get that bleed on him. Then let's do Whiplash, because we're not getting the bleed on him. Man, this guy is something. Okay, that's a bleed for 7. That hurts, but it's only for 1 round. Double stunned our healer. Wow.
Ringing ears. Blurred vision. The end approaches.
As long as she doesn't get hit again, she's good. So let's just Trespass. Gonna Thirst for Power on him.
Killer strike.
What is her stun resistance at now? 150, so hopefully she doesn't get stunned again. I'm gonna do Hunter Strike to get Lotus there in the row 3 just in case I need to heal with her. Okay, he did go for someone else. He can heal himself, and then plus protection, huh?
Teetering on the brink, facing the abyss.
I mean, to an extent I wanted that. Zoe really needs to heal herself, but can't. So we're gonna use an anti-venom. We're gonna use one of the medicinal herbs, and then she's gonna move back. Hunter Strike to get the Duchess in rank 2. Oh no. Okay, good. Okay, the Forlorn now is going to be stunned. Oh, he resisted. Alright, so what we're gonna do is get rid of the bleeding on the Duchess.
The human mind, fragile, like a robin.
That's unfortunate, but we'll see what we can do. Let's Noble Obligation. Oh, lovely.
Behold, the abyss is made manifest.
I was thinking I'd be able to bleed him. or blight him, and that's not really the case. And that's not what I want to have happen at all, so I might have to survive another round. Okay, using the anti-venom. And then we're gonna Hunter Strike him, because that does more damage. And he goes after her again. So I have accuracy and crit if I'm in that form. Nah, we're just gonna Noble. We got the bleed and the blight. Okay, I need to use my last anti-venom here. And then we're going to Hunter Strike. There we go. I was really hoping that the... Oh, she got Virtued. Nice. I was hoping that the sister would go before her so I could heal, not get the death door check, but... Lovely. That's fine. I just need like 3 damage to him. Ah, shed skin. And that cures his bleed and blight too.
How quickly the tide turns.
Man, this thing.
The horror.
And then she goes first again. We're gonna Tincture Tonic, that way at least it gets rid of the blight, and she's healing for a lot. I can't Blossom unless I'm in rank 3. Shite. Right, Possession. He's not marked, so we're just gonna do Crimson Dance and go 1 forward.
Precision and power.
Got the bleed for later. And Lotus for the win.
Perhaps the turning point.
He was a lot harder than I thought he would be. I know I didn't have a great group to fight him, but I was thinking I'd either be able to bleed or blight him. So we got the Basilisk Claw. It's a great hunt trophy, so I'm wondering if they're going to be coming out with more enemies like that. Gives plus 25 armor piercing on melee skills and 30% bleed chance on melee skills. 10 crit versus bleeding, plus 15% crits received while marked. So if you get marked, like that fight would have been really bad to have this claw in because you're gonna get crit. I don't know what C red is, but on monster kill self C red, so I probably should have read a little bit more into that part. And then on attack self mark target. Interesting. I think I'm actually gonna put that on the Forlorn. Then it's default party order. This is about to hurt like hell.
And now the true test. Hold fast or expire.
And I can do that for the next 2, and then I just have to make it through the dungeon. Yikes. Okay, who's best with traps? 110, 90. Let's get stressed down on her. Because I know she's
At the very
already not doing great because of the stress, so that'll help out a lot.
life ebbs. Terrible vista.
I don't have the anti-venom for this anymore, so I'm going to leave it alone. We're going to dig through this.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption
And I should have a fight in here.
with misintent.
Hey, some of the Project Iron Crown bandits. Or at least one of them. Let's see how this works. So we're marked. I'm gonna Tincture Tonic actually right away. We're going to Monstrous Affliction into Crimson Downpour, because that'll bleed all three of them and up the bleeding they receive. And blighting them because of our awesome little trinket there. Not what I would have done, but extra blight versus him.
Diminished. Grievous injury. Palpable fear.
This may hurt. At least he didn't hit the Forlorn again there. But we're already back to this amount of stress after I had gotten her down by like 40. And Peace of Mind won't help with that too much. Let's Tincture Tonic her. That way she gets healed. One down.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Really?
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
I'm gonna castigate this guy just in case. Alright, there he's stunned. He should also go down.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
There's our heal. Okay, so since he's bleeding, Hunter Strike does armor piercing and 35% extra damage. And I'll do an extra crit. So, let's see what happens here. Then down he goes.
The greater the glory.
We have keys for this. And take it all.
Gold, trinkets and baubles.
And we're just going to continue on because we have the healing 10 for 1 round to heal them up a bunch. I don't recall what the makeshift study table does, and that's something I've actually not run into too often. And we just got plus stress, which made us afflict. Yay!
Frustration.
So we got 3 afflicts and 1 virtue, by the way. This is not going good because of Mr. Lizard. Although that was a very, very fun fight. And now I know better than to bring a bleeding or blighting enemy or team to go fight him. This is why we brought the torches, shifting mist. Otherwise I could go like back to the very beginning. That would suck. Glad we dodged that extra fight I didn't have to do. At least we resisted. I forgot to use the holy water on him. I just realized that. Alright, we're going to take what I can. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of the citrines. And actually, we're going to do that. Just to heal up and be a little more safe. And then I get the hunger check. Oh, that took a lot. Someone here eats extra food. A lot of it. So Stress Eater. 100% food consumed if stressed above 50. Is that really it? Because then I thought it would only go down by 5, not 6. We can de-stress out of her once again. And then we're just going to go straight up. Okay, this isn't bad. Although, me having a mark on self for the fungal hunter, if I remember right, can be very bad. We're going to start by improvised tactics. This will at least up our dodge. Gonna bramble right off the bat. Transforming her into Crimson Downpour, so I'm bleeding these back 3. Oh, the Trembling Coffin actually has something in it, because usually that would break it, I think. We're going to do, I guess, Hunter Strike to the one thing that we can't hit. At least has armor piercing for this part, because 50% protection there. Joke's on you, he's already marked. Now this may hurt. And he's standing. He's even creepier when he's like that. So I'm gonna castigate to try to stun the Trembling Coffin just because of the amount of stress it can give. We are going to Tincture Tonic to heal the Forlorn who's marked. Transforming. I can't do Crimson Dance now, but we can do Trespass, and we're gonna go at the Fungal Battery.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Kind of surprised they're going first. Alright, well, Fungal Grabber again.
Devastating blow.
Unfortunately, that doesn't buff everyone for the plus damage versus bleeding anymore, but it is still good.
Hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
Oh, lovely.
This is no place for the weak or the foolhardy.
Oh, we just lost her. Yeah, this is one of those situations where it's probably better to run away. I'm gonna preface that. This will take out the Grabber.
A death by inches.
We are going to heal. I totally forgot about this guy when putting on those gloves. I'm like, nothing else really goes at marked except for the
Their formation is broken.
Fungal Scratcher, right? No, that was not the case at all. Stop that. And we're going to castigate and stun it.
Decisive pummeling.
I'm going to mark it so I instant crit it on her next turn if that goes through. Alright, Thirst for Power. Maybe we'll bleed it and blade it. So it does go down. I need to heal. And then we can Trespass. And hopefully get some de-stressing.
Give them no quarter.
Alright, well, taking everything first.
Promises success.
Faithful Bell, minus 35 stress if stress above 15, plus 20 dodge if stress above 50. That is a very good trinket right now. That is a very good trinket right now. I'm probably gonna need that shovel. What I can do is, and also need the food. Let's do this, and then this. And then the dungeon's almost over, so I might have one more fight left. But there are the trinkets I had. Well, I came into here with these two, and then I'm gonna bring back the Basilisk Claw and the Faithful Bell. Can't interact with that, not going to. Gonna dig through this, that's an extra space. Like one more room. And we get to go. Which is empty. They can eat. Oh, it might be because she's ravenous that she's eating more. I'm gonna check out this curio, but I doubt I get to interact with it. Actually surprised. So trade out the food. Then we'll leave. Unfortunate about Simon, because that's the second Forlorn that we've lost.
Of our troubled estate.
But wow, that boss kind of shredded me. And once again, I don't think I should have gotten this ancestor portrait, but it's been popping up so often that I decided to just get it and have it stop popping up. I was right about Carmine hit level 5, but Lotus is still level 4, and Zoe did hit level 4. Simon would have hit level 5 if he would have survived. And only bad quirk, so we got Calm on Lotus, Dud Hitter on Carmine, and Resolution on Zoe. Resolution being the best out of those. I don't really care about drinking in town.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
So, probably not going to be hiring anyone unless they come in at level 3, or the roster starts getting very, very small. But from my list, I don't think that there's anyone here I would have needed anyway, because we do have that level 3 silent. I always have very, very bad luck when I bring the sisters lately. Like, I don't remember a single good dungeon on this estate with them, but I really like their class. I don't know what's been happening there, but whether that's my poor decisions or whether that's something else. But that'll be it for this time. As always, I wish you all well. I'll see you next time, and please have a good one.